You know, sometimes as a YouTuber, you gotta gauge what kind of audience you want to pull into your little void. Sometimes the audience you get isn't the one you were reaching for. Sometimes it's surprising, and sometimes you just wish you never started this in the first place so that you could go off and do much more productive things.
You don't know me, but I know you. I want to play a game.
Now, I've been doing this pretty unsuccessfully for a few years, and I like to think that I know what my audience wants, and it seems to be pretty obvious to me that all of you want a family-friendly thriller with a very low kill count, right?
No!
Well, that's exactly what I got for you. Drop, a 2025 thriller. So let's spook this puppy with little to no spoilers. Roll it! So Drop just came out. It's a thriller about a single mom on a first date. She gets some anonymous digi-drops, as they're called in the movie, telling her that if she doesn't kill her date, they will kill her son.
Ooh, I'm really scared.
Maybe I shouldn't be sarcastic. That is a legit fear that people who have defenseless children would freak out about. Good thing all of my kids are, let's just say, capable. So Drop stars Megan Fai playing Violet, who you may recognize from Your Monster, a horror romance that I definitely didn't see last year. Mostly because I wasn't convinced that it would be worth a horror fan's time.
That's not a good start, but keep going.
Maybe it's good, but I don't know. Drop also stars Brendan Skilner, I don't know, playing Henry, who everyone knows from the Yellowstone prequel, 1923. But this is horror, so we gotta bring up his other horror thriller contributions. There's Shot in the Dark and Temple.
Who?
Yeah, these are very unknown horror thrillers that seem to only have bad reviews.
That sounds worse.
Because it is. But just because someone was in bad or practically non-existent horror thrillers before doesn't mean that every future attempt will be terrible. Is Drop terrible? Well, let's pump the brakes and break it down piece by piece. Violet is a very likable single mom therapist. She's very protective of her son, and she's gone through quite a bit in her past. Violet as a character is pretty likable. She has a lot of qualities that are likable, and in a thriller, she is pretty resourceful and clever. But she's also pretty vulnerable. She's put in a tight spot, and she's not flawless. She makes mistakes, she makes bad calls, and this is very human. This is a character that reflects pretty good writing. Henry, her date, is a photographer, and he's being like the overly nice guy by being insanely patient with going out on this first date with her, and he doesn't lose his cool when she's on her phone during the entire date like a 23-year-old.
Like a date.
Like a date or like a date?
Both, I guess.
Yeah, sure, maybe. I don't know. Yes, no. Here's the first 3 digits of my phone number. Email me.
If the movie wanted to be more realistic, this is how a first date would really go between two 30-year-olds.
Oh, you tell the best stories. Me and my 3 eggs are having the best time.
Henry does have moments where he does break, and it adds up. Like, plenty of guys would have either bounced or just tell Violet off because of some of the things that happened during this date, but lucky for her, she's hot. So her secret weapon to keep a guy anywhere is pretty obvious.
Giggity.
What?
Nothing, it's stupid.
Hey now. It's still a PG-13 movie, so ain't no serious lovin' in this flick. Moving on, there is quite a bit of mystery in this flick, and the creative writing, problem solving, and surprise twist is actually done pretty well. When it comes to the thriller aspect, this is where the movie kind of fails.
Disappointed!
The movie takes place at a restaurant on the 36th floor of a building. It doesn't really have that much of an effect on the plot itself. It becomes a big deal in like one scene. Literally every other major plot point or interesting moment could have taken place at any restaurant or private place, and it wouldn't have made much of a difference. Another negative that I would throw at the feet of this movie in the thriller aspect would be the kill count. Not only does this movie have a very low kill count, but several people get the Hollywood treatment when it comes to getting shot or stabbed, as in they aren't the lethal spots.
Disappointed!
Yeah, this goes into the title of this video. This is a family-friendly thriller. Not usually the kind of movie that I review on here, but I'm open to everything horror and thriller related, and this movie is a pretty good time. If you are looking for something appropriate for all ages, and if the people you are seeing this with aren't really into super violent, super scary thrillers. Y'all seen Red Eye?
That it would never happen again.
I heard on the Dead Meat Presents channel that someone commented about Drop saying, if you liked Red Eye, you'll like Drop. And I would wholeheartedly agree with that comparison. The premise is pretty much the same. Now that's not necessarily a bad thing, because almost all kinds of stories have already been told, so you gotta throw in a few twists, turns, creativity, solid writing, and performances to make it still worth people's time and money. And honestly, I'm not sure what other horrors are playing around you, but if your choices are only this and Hell of a Summer, I strongly suggest Drop over Hell of a Summer. Sorry guys, I know it was your first try making a horror movie. Hope the next attempt gets improved upon, and let's just keep it spooky until next week.